Hello folks, today is Friday, October 25th, 2019. As usual, it's me, Jake Baldino, and we're here to talk about a bunch of video game news that has been going on this week. Actually, it's been a little bit of a quiet week, but with a couple of bombshells, the first thing being kind of like a delay Armageddon. What the hell is going on out there? So, first thing is the surprise news that The Last of Us Part 2 is delayed. Yes, you probably remember us just like a couple weeks back talking about a big Last of Us event. People got to play the game. They revealed the release date. It was planned for February 21st, 2020, but now it's been pushed all the way to May 29th, 2020. In an official blog post, Neil Druckmann behind Naughty Dog did post their reasoning for it, saying that the game just needed more polish and it wasn't up to their standards. It still does come as a surprise though, considering Sony and Naughty Dog spent a lot of money and planning putting on a release date event type of thing, only to suddenly move it. I see that as some sort of internal miscommunication in terms of like where the product was at. Not really gonna sit here and speculate too much, but still, we just gotta wait a little longer. But I am very much on the side of things like, all right, take your time, make the game better. There's plenty of video games to play right now. I'm going to be patient. Perfect example, just some housekeeping. The Outer Worlds is out today. We just put up a before you buy video for it. I really love it. I think you should check it out if it's your type of thing. But anyway, I digress. Other games delayed include Watch Dogs Legion, or Watch Dogs 3, if you're nasty. Gods and Monsters, that like cartoony Zelda Breath of the Wild Greek action game that was teased, and the newest Rainbow Six Quarantine thing, which we didn't know too much about, but those games were essentially slated for spring. They've now been pushed into the next fiscal year. So now there's a much broader window because technically the games can release between April 2020 and March 2021. Interestingly enough though, it seems like the reason that Ubisoft has pushed so many things back is because they've had a series of setbacks lately. Between earnings calls and an interview with Ubisoft head Yves Guillemot, we now know that both The Division 2 and Ghost Recon Breakpoint underperformed. That isn't like a total surprise. It is a little bit of a bummer for me. I'm on record very much liking The Division 2. It's kind of like the one games as a service type game I kind of vibed with, but on the other hand, I really didn't like Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and it makes sense, and Ubisoft even admitted it, saying that Breakpoint didn't really do enough to differentiate itself from their other similar offerings, which, yeah, I agree. Also, he said that a large part of the community very intensely rejected it, which I also agree. Ultimately, what I would like to see from this is them completely refocus, maybe tweak the formula for what The Division 2 really is. But Ghost Recon, a series that I feel really passionate about, go back to the original drawing board. I'm talking the original game from the early 2000s because that's still my favorite. The moral of the story is, though, is that a lot of this stuff is contributing factors to why we're not seeing Ubisoft's next games for a while. Hopefully that means that those spend more time in the oven and they turn out great. I mean, I think Watch Dogs looks pretty cool. But like I always say with like pretty much everything, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Another surprise bombshell, though, is Left 4 Dead 2 kind of resurging, making a comeback. More Left 4 Dead. Interestingly enough, in Dying Light. So part of the reason why this is like a collaboration is because both games still kill it on the PC market, sales-wise, player numbers-wise. But I think it's really interesting that like Dying Light actually had to contact and talk to Valve about a game they made, considering that it must be an awkward conversation to set up that promotion because like they don't really make games like that anymore. But essentially what this is like a kind of like a promotional type thing. It's a crossover event. It's free until like I believe October 28th, and there's an increased number of virals, more attacking hordes. If you do the challenges, you can get unique gold blueprints, and then you can make like, you know, classic kind of Left 4 Dead style inspired weapons. It's definitely a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. And I think the bottom line here is that Dying Light has been alive for 4 years now. They've been supporting this game. It came out so long ago, and they keep putting meaningful, worthwhile content in it. I mean, this Left 4 Dead thing isn't the biggest thing, but comparatively, all the other stuff they've added, like they've kept this game alive for a while, and they've kept it top of mind for people when, you know, Dying Light 2 comes out, which looks pretty cool. That's what they're doing. I still think that game is absolutely worth playing, but let's move on. In other news, obviously, you probably know Call of Duty Modern Warfare is out today, if you do care. A funny little thing, Call of Duty posted like a doctor's note, a sick note. I kind of like when developers do this. It's kind of funny. The way they wrote this one is kind of like you have a top secret mission. It's just cute. We will have videos on that soon. We didn't get early access to the game or anything, but I'm going to be working on a before you buy. We're going to have tips videos, stuff like that, if you're interested. Now, a quick word from our sponsor. I have to change my jacket real quick. Now, next up, before we move on, this episode is brought to you by Skillshare. It's an online learning community for creators. We've said this before, but maybe you're trying to get a job. Maybe you're trying to do something creative. The internet is a really good place to start learning, and Skillshare is the place. Skillshare has over 25,000 different classes to choose from in a bunch of categories, and if you're looking to get into video games, I can highly recommend checking out Digital Illustration with Jerome Vogel if you want to get started. You know, learn Procreate and strengthen your digital creative skills. Really, it's never too late to start learning something new, whatever it may be. Premium membership gives you unlimited access so you can start trying to learn whatever you want, and it's very affordable because you can land an annual premium membership for under $10 a month. So here's the deal. There's this link right here. It's also in the description below. Go there, click it, because you guys, our subscribers, can get a 2-month free trial. So go over there and start learning something. And thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video again.
From the old sponsor jacket.
The old sponsor jacket. But of course, real quick, we got to talk about Fallout 76. I'm so tired. So here's the deal real quick, because we've talked about it in other videos, but the gist of it is Bethesda has launched a subscription service for Fallout 76 players. It rises to about $100 a year. It gets you a stipend of the in-game currency on a regular basis. It gives you like unlimited storage for certain things, a couple of other little perks and items and stuff like that, but also private servers. Even though they're not really technically, you can look into that more. But number one, apparently this launch has had issues. Some players have reported problems. But two, it's just the new thing that people are really mad about with Bethesda. And, you know, you can't blame them. I think the asking price is really, really expensive. I think it is a problem. I think Bethesda needs to be called out for kind of like still doing things that aren't that great to a game that needs to be better. I will say, and I want to point this out to you guys, like, think of the people who actually play Fallout 76. There is a group of people that liked it and tried to hang on with it, but they continue to be disappointed. It's a massive bummer. Hopefully Bethesda learns from this. We've said that many times before. This topic is kind of a dead horse. This shit all sucks. Let's move on. Also, I just want to point this out again because it's kind of been taking quietly the world by storm a little bit. Microsoft Flight Simulator, the upcoming version, is like the craziest, most insane looking thing ever. Some new screenshots have been making the rounds, really blowing people's minds, showing off the scale of things, the lighting, actually volumetric cloud technology that's pretty cool in motion. There's also some videos. We're going to try and link one of the more recent ones down in the description. We like to talk about cool graphics stuff sometimes, and this one is definitely one to watch. It is insane. It doesn't have ray tracing support, but Microsoft has kind of teased something sort of like it. I'm just curious to see where this one goes. Like, I'm not into the games from a hardcore perspective, but from a visual one, oh boy. Now, of course, everything I've been talking about is linked in the description below, but down there we also got a bunch of stuff that you should get caught up on, some trailers and stuff. The first is for Persona 5 Phantom Strikers. Hey, anime guy, is that cool? Does it look cool?
I don't know, I only care about mainline games.
Okay, that's fair. We also got a cool Doom 64 trailer. I talked about that a couple weeks ago with the delay of Doom Eternal and stuff. It looks amazing, just as it always has. Also, I just wanted to link this because it's funny. Somebody put the goose from the Untitled Goose game as Mr. X in Resident Evil 2. If you're looking for a laugh, a little, you know, just an asshole goose being an asshole goose. Also, since I haven't recommended reading material in a while, but I think it's important that we're all like read up on video games if we talk about them all the time, a great article on just the state of video game as a medium and how it's covered in mainstream journalism. A lot of mainstream places have tried and failed to cover stuff. This covers that, and Washington Post kind of trying a new thing. If you find that stuff interesting, this is a good article to read. It's linked in the description below. But lastly, we linked in the description below, as you guys probably know, I'm a big Hideo Kojima fanboy. I'm very much excited and looking forward to Death Stranding. No, we don't have a review copy. I'm sad. But a video making the waves this week is that Conan O'Brien did a video, and the late night host got to visit Kojima Productions and check it out, hang out with Hideo Kojima, and even get scanned and put into the game as a character. Yes, Conan O'Brien, the comedian, the very tall comedian, is going to sort of be in Death Stranding. And I can't help but say this and sound like a petty, jealous bitch, but I'm so angry. Like my primal ape gaming brain gets mad at Conan O'Brien because he doesn't even appreciate what he's doing. I'm a real gamer, damn it. Put me in the game. I gotta stop. Anyway, still, it's an enjoyable watch. Go check it out if you're curious. If you're curious about the game, it's there. But in other news, we talked about it on the Tuesday live show a little bit, but I want to highlight it again because BlizzCon is next week. We'll see how that goes. So leakers have kind of pointed to a possible Overwatch 2 with a different style progression, different character abilities, and just a big whole overhaul. That sounds like a surprise to me. I expected them to just kind of keep Overwatch going. Not only that, an art book has kind of essentially leaked the fact that Diablo 4 is definitely a thing. Reiterating what we already know, Blizzard has come out in the past and said, hey, pretty soon we're going to show you guys the next Diablo game we're working on. So with that, I guess you can have a little bit of what to expect going on at BlizzCon 2019, which is soon. I expect it to be an absolute shit show, especially with the controversy lately involving China, and they should rightfully be called out for, of course. But between that and then last year with the Diablo mobile game, I am very curious to see how this goes down. Video games, am I right? Speaking of that, though, another game that's just been a nightmare is WWE 2K20. I had to play it. It's not very good. But if you guys have been playing it out there, you've probably seen some crazy glitches. So we're going to be doing a glitch reaction video. So there will be a link in the description down below to click and enter and submit any glitches or weird shit you've captured. Send it there for a chance for it to be featured in a video next week where we react and make fun of all these dumb glitches. Thank you in advance if you do send them in. That should be a really good time considering what I've seen. But before we go, now we got to do that console giveaway we do every week. You know how it goes down by now. There's a link in the description below. You click it to sign up. You enter once, then you're entered for good. And then every single week we go in to randomly choose one person to win a free console of their choice. And this week's winner is going to be this person right here. Congratulations. Be sure to keep an eye on your inbox, your spam box, stuff like that, because we're going to be reaching out to you to find out how to send you your free stuff, just like some other lucky folks. Now, we got to talk in the comments about a lot of stuff. I have a lot of questions for you guys. I definitely want to know what you guys think. Like, okay, so Death Stranding, Hideo Kojima putting random celebrities in games. If you could have him put one of your favorite celebrities or famous person in a game, who would that be? Also, are you going to jump back into Dying Light? Have you been jumping back into Dying Light consistently over the last 4 years or so? I'd definitely love to hear from some of you guys. Also, if you're a Fallout 76 player, what do you think about Fallout First? You very well might be disappointed, but I honestly want to genuinely hear from the people that have tried to stick with the game. And what do you think about the Ubisoft games getting delayed? Were one of those you looking forward to playing sooner rather than later? I'm all for team, leave them in the oven much longer. But The Last of Us 2, that's a crazy one. What do you think about that? Let's talk about anything video game news related down in the comments. We'll be down there talking to you as much as possible. Things get kind of crazy though, so if you got anything else for me, if you want to yell at me, hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Jake Baldino. But as always, I say thank you guys for coming around every Friday to watch us talk about video game news and stuff, get you guys caught up. We really appreciate it. We have fun making these. But if you enjoyed it, the best thing you can do is click the like button. It really does help us out. And if you're new, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Pizza's on me.